Good Communities, a parable with historical parallels. When you start to see the historical parallels, inspired by Anastasia and full of visions, people founded a community called Tamara, which was all about living together in harmony and leading a good and healthy life. Mutual learning, help, and encouragement were its foundations. They lived in nature, simply connected, fulfilled. People felt close to each other and to Mother Earth with all her creatures. They meditated, did yoga, and became more focused and peaceful, conditioning their thoughts to be positive and finding inner peace. They regularly fasted, training their bodies to cope with deprivation and their urges. During these times, they lived particularly spiritually and realized that there is coarse material and fine material food. They respected and loved their bodies, their lives, their minds, their souls, themselves, and others. A harmony of body, mind, and soul emerged, a great freedom through modesty, and a cheerfulness prevailed. Their eyes shone, they radiated from within, in everything they said, as if an inner fire burned within them. Even the elderly were still beautiful and dignified in their own way. They radiated from within and said that they were getting better and better. They were incredibly hardworking, but not stressed. Instead, they were constantly in a cheerful mood. They understood that those who are active learn and develop, while those who stand still do not. But over time, people began to think more about themselves than about others. They sought more advantages for themselves, often at the expense of the community. This had a severe impact on community life, and love gradually evaporated. Nature also became something that could be used to make money, and more money meant more power. For some, money and power became more important than love and dignity. To conceal their true goals, some began to deceive, inventing stories that hid their dark intentions and accusing others of doing exactly what they themselves were doing. Those who exposed these deceptions were viciously defamed and attacked, without anyone being able to refute their claims. Unfortunately, the negative forces succeeded in using their money to control the flow of information. The once thriving community forgot what had once bound it together. Division, hardship, loneliness, and suffering ensued. The founder of this community saw this with great pain. He thought about it, and then decided to send someone to live by the original values again. Not by lecturing people, because he knew that doesn't do much good, but by authentically embodying the original ideal. This person came, full of love and compassion. He loved the community, but also withdrew again and again. With every step he took, he showed people how fulfilling a life could be in you, in we, in truth and compassion, in connection with all living things, including nature. He lived forgiveness as a gain for all, and you could feel it. Even animals are our friends and siblings. Who eats their friends? Many recognized their roots in him, what they had once lived, and began to live it again. Many realized that his way brought much more joy, cheerfulness, and abundance, and tried to live the same way. And lo and behold, they experienced life in abundance. But some, especially the rich and powerful, felt threatened. He questioned their delusions and lived the truth. They decided to kill him. They accused him of terrible things, and many were deceived, and agreed to his execution. They began to worship the symbol of his execution like a trophy, and to encourage others to do the same. They invented an attractive story. A club of the rich and powerful wanted more rich people to join, but also as many paying people as possible. And they were told, it doesn't matter what you do, even if it is immoral, by executing this one person, you will be forgiven for everything because he was a special person. This was undoubtedly an absurd message because this very person had taught that it is about striving for perfection. But the story flattered spiritual egoism, and many went along with it. Others recognized the deception. They knew that what mattered was the exemplary, perfect life of this person, the heart connection to the Master and Creator, a fulfilled, good life, and a contribution to the community. And lo and behold, they experienced healing, joy, peace, abundance, and were even able to heal others. But they were not loved because they challenged the lifestyle of others and were mocked, slandered, and attacked. This made them stronger and more resilient. Did you notice what is being described here? The human community, the coming of Jesus, the early Christians. A few questions. Why did the Creator of all beings send his beloved Jesus to earth? Or was it about his life or his death? Why did he have to die so young? Couldn't he have done much more and reached more people if he had lived longer? Why did he challenge so many people with his consistent life, knowing that it would cause trouble? He could have lived a comfortable life among his disciples. If people have strayed from their values, is it helpful to send someone who says, it doesn't matter how you live, I will take all your sins upon myself? Doesn't that lead to a coarsening of society? Does it make the world a better place? Or was, and is, it essentially about the exemplary life of Jesus? To inspire us to follow his example? Didn't he say, be perfect? Then you can do greater things than I have done. Isn't that a great message? A clear goal. And what wonderful fruits we are allowed to reap. Thank you, beloved Jesus, for your life, for your light, for your example. I do not want to misuse you for my sins. I am responsible for those. You are far too precious and holy to me. You understand me. Thank you.